Hi, welcome everyone. We're just going to wait a few minutes while everyone gets in. Feel free to say hi in the chat. We'd love to see who's here. Welcome. It's day 3 of the Utah Bike Summit. We're excited to have you here. Feel free to go ahead and say hello in the chat so we know that you're here. Oh, welcome from Bend, Oregon. Yay, Oregon, represent. I was born and raised in La Grande, Oregon, which is the eastern side, but we always played Bend in sports. Hello, UDOT. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Hey, Becca. We're excited to hear from you later today. Welcome back, Mike. While we wait, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a little bit about what we learned yesterday. We've had some awesome sessions the past few days. Yesterday, we heard from Natives Outdoors founder, Dr. Len Nessifer, who shared the importance of using media to amplify Indigenous voices to change policies. We also heard from a group of panelists from diverse backgrounds about their experience with representation in cycling. It was incredibly informative and impactful session, and I recommend you go back and watch it if you missed it, along with all of our other amazing sessions. We also had a great conversation about the dramatic increase in new cyclists, and we're excited to hear the conversations between local bike shop owners Angela Wright and Randy Gibb and how we can help those cyclists stay riding. They also had some incredible tidbits about what's going to be happening with the cost of bicycles and what could be happening moving forward as we continue to see the rise in cycling. We've had an incredible conversation with 6 people in bicycle or outdoor related industries and their career paths. This session was free and will be made available to students and youth cyclists from around the state this summer. So stay tuned for that. Is everyone getting in okay? Oh, hey, Jim. Yeah, if you have driven or ridden through up to Oregon, you have been to La Grande. And that's where I grew up. It's a rural town and it is beautiful. Oh, hi, Sue from Eugene. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of my fellow Oregonians. Like, this is making my day. Thank you so much for coming and joining us for our 3rd and final day of the online portion of the 2021 Utah Bike Summit. We're so thrilled to have this day to host a bicycle advocacy workshop. Today, we will specifically address some of the challenges we face and how we can overcome them as bicycle advocates and as planners and as city officials. We'll hear from panelists and then we'll have an opportunity to move into workshops throughout the day. And that will be on the workshop tab. We'll be meeting in smaller groups. Everything will happen on the main stage today until we direct you to move into the workshops. So we'll continue to give directions as that happens. It's going to be a great day, and I'm so grateful to see everyone here. Now we'd like to take a moment to particularly thank our speakers for presenting today. John Carrillo, Danielle Larkin, Dr. Erin Sagabeland, Rebecca Wolf, Carly Lanch, Nikki Navio, Mayor Joe Schoblum, and Josh Yost. Also thanks to those of you who donate, serve on our board of directors and advisory council for your continued support of Bike Utah and making Utah a better place to ride. And to our presenting sponsor, Utah Department of Transportation, Move Utah, and TravelWise. And also a huge thanks to our many additional amazing sponsors, Draper City, Salt Lake County Bicycle Advisory Committee, Wasatch Front Regional Council, AECOM, American Planning Association, WSP, Mountain Land Association of Governments, Get Healthy Utah, Horrocks Engineers, Governor's Office of Economic Development, Office of Outdoor Recreation, Salt Lake City Division of Transportation, We are so grateful to everyone who's joined us in our efforts to create this unique Utah Bike Summit experience this year, from the silent auction to our free use session to the advocacy workshop day, which is today. Here are just a few more of the awesome partners that we're happy to have on board. Fellow Fix Ogden, Avenue Consultants, HNTV, NV Composites, FFKR Architects, Chevron Salt Lake Refinery, High West Distillery, Woodward Park City, Bear River Association of Governments, Green Bike, Cycle Bar Saratoga Springs and South Jordan, Staker Parson, Cycling Utah, and Utah Transit Authority for making the Utah Bike Summit possible this year. We're thrilled for the discussions, ideas, and connections that we made through the programming over today, and at our outdoor session, which will happen again on April 6th. As we begin the summit today, Bike Utah would like to recognize the ancestral territories of Utah, Ute Indian Tribe of the Uinta and Ouray Reservation, Ute Mountain Ute Tribe, Skull Valley Band of Goshute, Confederated Indian Tribes of the Goshute Reservation, Navajo Nation, Paiute Indian Tribe of Utah, San Juan Southern Paiute Tribe, Northwestern Band of Shoshone Nation, and Eastern Shoshone. We celebrate the Indigenous people who are still here and continue to demonstrate their talents and gifts. We have an exciting announcement today. You may have noticed that we've begun sharing an Advocate of the Month in our monthly newsletter, so be sure to sign up for that on our website if you haven't already, so you can get to know these amazing people that we have in Utah. We're really lucky. We actually are filled with people who are working to make Utah a better place to ride. And we're excited to have some of those individuals that we have already highlighted as advocates here today as speakers. Today, we are announcing that we're going to expand this effort to recognize our fellow bicycle advocates by creating a Bike Utah Advocate of the Year. We will announce the Advocate of the Year at our next Bike Summit in 2022, which will be held on April 19th at the Davis Conference Center in Layton, Utah. We'll share more details on how you can nominate your favorite advocate this summer, so stay tuned. We'll post a link into the website so you can check out some of our previous Advocates of the Month and learn a little more about Bike Utah Advocate of the Year. So check out that link that Jackie just posted. And then as a reminder, we have the Utah Bike Summit Outdoor Experience on April 6th at Vista Station parking lot in Draper. Masks and social distancing are required. We will have some awesome demos and activities, including cycles from Wasatch Adaptive Sports and the National Mobility Center. You will have the opportunity to try out some of the adaptive cycles we've been talking about during this summit. We will also have an active transportation tour put together in partnership with the Utah Transit Authority, UTA, and Mountain Land Association of Governments. And so you can sign up for that and figure out how to sign up for the outdoor portion of the summit by going to our website, bikeutah.org/summit. Today is the last day to bid for the silent auction. It closes at 3:15 p.m. Jackie Baker and Shelby Cox will be hosting the silent auction finale, and it is going to be super fun. So be sure to tune in for that and get those bids in now because it's closing in just a few short hours. And finally, Bike Month is just around the corner in May, and we are hosting, as Bike Utah, several events throughout the whole month. We would love to partner with your organization or business during Bike Month, so contact Development Director Kaylee Bell at bikeutah.org. She'll be popping in her email into the chat as well, so you can contact her. I know a lot of you are also having some awesome events coming up for Bike Month and just in general, so feel free to drop what's going on for you in the chat. We can all learn about them and help you out. I know there's the Zero Fatality Summit coming up. Mike, you're right, every month is Bike Month. That's definitely what we believe at Bike Utah. Every day is Bike Day too. All right. We are going to see what you've learned so far in this summit. So for those of you who are just joining us today, you can take some guesses at what we've been talking about. All right, we're going to ask a couple of questions. It's poll time. That's Jackie. Just said in the chat. That's funny. That was not coordinated. How many miles have been completed in the 1,000 Miles campaign? A, 2, B, 400, C, 7,245, and D, 9. I bet if you haven't been, you can guess what the real answer is. I'll give you guys a moment to get your answers in. No pressure. This is not a real quiz. I'm not going to submit your grades or anything. Daniel Larkin, who's also presenting today, says the Bicycle Collective in St. George just had a new mural painted by cyclist TJ Eisenhart. So go check that out when you're down south. I'm going to need to go take a look. That sounds amazing. Thanks for sharing that, Danielle. Yeah, feel free as you jump on and you think of things that you want to share and let everyone know that's happening in Utah or wherever you are to tune in. Feel free to drop the links or the information into the chat. All right, let's see. Did everyone get it right? The answer is, of our 1,000 Miles campaign, we have so far tracked 400 miles. So just a reminder for everyone, the 1,000 Miles campaign was started by Governor Herbert and is now continuing on with Governor Cox. And we are the implementers of that project of working towards 1,000 miles of new family-friendly bike lanes, paths, and trails throughout Utah by 2027. So we're a few years in, we're right on track at 400, and we know that as our 1,000 Miles program director, Chris Wiltsey, continues to work with your organizations and communities throughout the state, we're going to make that goal. All right, let's move on to our next question. This is, how many times have you bid in the silent auction? So go ahead and drop that in the chat. I mean, generally, how many items have you bid on in the silent auction? There's obviously no right answer here. Or wrong answer. Every answer is right. I will be really impressed if someone has bid on all 35 items. I love the 2 people that have. 4 people that have bid on all 35 items in the silent auction. You were my favorites. I'm not supposed to have favorites, but you are now my favorites. All right. Our next question is, thus far in the Bike Summit, name one thing that you have learned, and go ahead and type that in the chat. So what have you learned from the Utah Bike Summit this year so far? We'd love to see your answers. Jim says, congrats and great work, Mr. Wiltsey. I honestly was just talking to someone this morning who was singing Chris Wiltsey's praises. So if you are in a city or community throughout Utah that wants to work on an active transportation plan or figure out how you can contribute to the 1,000 Miles program and getting those new family-friendly infrastructure, reach out to Chris Wiltsey. He's phenomenal, and his services, his technical and consulting services, are free to communities throughout the state. Mercedes says, more open streets and how to advocate for cyclists of all abilities. Yes, we love that that theme has been throughout our summit, and definitely hope we can get more open streets this next year. Mike has learned how awesome fellow bicycle advocates are. We are a pretty cool crowd, I must say. Megan says, new perspectives and ideas on how to plan bicycle infrastructure more inclusively. Yes, like that's definitely something we try to coordinate and hit home in almost every conversation. Oh, I'm so glad that you like the bicycle advocacy guide that Chris created. We're going to be launching that during Bike Month, so stay tuned for that. It's pretty exciting. Lisa must have helped us with our beta testing. Yeah, John learned how difficult the trail intersections crossings for the adaptive cyclists are. And so if you missed that conversation, you can go back and check it out on day 1 of our bicycle advocacy, of our bike summit. That is the All Abilities Bikeway conversation with Amanda King and Blair Tompton. And so check that out because it's really good. And you can see the video that John is referring to that Amanda shared where it took her over, I think the whole video, it shows it's 23 points to get through a railroad crossing with the infrastructure that had been put in place there for pedestrian safety. I don't know why, because it's the wonkiest infrastructure across, but it is almost impossible for adaptive cyclists to get through. It was very eye-opening. I will never forget that video. All right, let's move on to our next question. You guys are doing great. I'm very impressed with everything that you've all picked up. All right, this is from day 1 as well. How many miles of streets did the Utah Department of Transportation and the Salt Lake City Transportation Division open during 2020 for the pandemic? How many miles of open streets? So 1,000.1, 10.1, 1.1, 111.0. So go ahead and answer in the polls. All right, let's see what people's answers have been. Oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. The right answer is 10.1. Last year we had 10.1 miles of open streets for the pandemic, and it was great to hear the conversation yesterday in the UDOT session, UDOT sponsored session, about how we can possibly continue those. Those were emergency practices, but how we can possibly continue those beyond the pandemic and have that great accessibility in the future for people to recreate right outside in their front streets. So, all right. Okay, everyone, let's see if you can name a sponsor of the Utah Bike Summit. I want to see which sponsors you are most familiar with. So go ahead and throw one of the Utah Bike Summit sponsors in the chat. Utah. Oh yeah, and Judith says she was really inspired yesterday by the native outdoors session. And especially thinking about the importance of story. That was a phenomenal session. Go back and check it out. All right, yep, thank you for recognizing all of our amazing sponsors. Remember the Utah outdoor session is on April 6th, and we're gonna change computers really quickly, so give us a minute, but go ahead and go over to the main stage, click next, and join for the next session for our first advocacy workshop panel. Thank you.